Welcome to the FPL USA Press Play Podcast. You got a full house here. It's the three amigos. I'm Bucks. I'm joined by my co-host on the Best Coast. We got Brian Chin. Brian, say hello.
Ahoy! How we doing, gentlemen?
I'm doing great, especially since we've brought back a familiar face to this program. He's a voice that's too good to just be on the radio, so we had to get that man with the beard, the wolf himself, no sheep's clothing allowed. He likes to go all bear. It's Black Wolf. Dan, welcome back. We love you. We miss you. We're thrilled to have you back on.
It's good to be back. I've missed you guys a lot. I'll be honest.
Aww.
It was a nice break, though. I took a nice break over the summer and end of last season. I am ready to go this season.
Yeah.
You're geared up, man. You look radiant.
I know, it's the sun. You should see my shiny bald head.
Well, it's not just your face that's glowing, bud, because you smashed it coming out the gates in FPL this first game week.
You
Want to
both
just dive
did.
into
I
it?
mean, if we dive into it, you both crushed it to start the new season. So good to see that, the variance gods bestow upon their good fortunes to 2/3 of this group. There can never be a 3 for 3. It's always, 2/3 of this group do well and the other third just falls off a cliff.
Hey, Dan, you know that meme of the three dragons, right? And it's like two of them are like really serious, and then one of them's like, ugh. That's Brian with us.
This guy, yeah.
Two experts and a chin.
You use up all your good fortune one time in FPL for that big finish, and now it's all gone to shit. I had so many zeros in my squad this week. It's crazy to see that you spend hours and hours lamenting over your game week 1 squad, and then of course half your players take up just a big steaming massive dump all over your brand new carpet. It's rough around here, but we prevail onwards. We'll keep it light, and let's just jump into teams. But before that, let's just highlight for our listeners and our viewers, please join our free-to-play Cash Global Prize League, the Press Play Palooza. And if you could follow, repost, take a friend, code is REDFU9, RedFu9, coming at you. Let's start from the top here. Barusha Teeth. Black Wolf.
Raise the roof.
Shine on, baby.
I got 74 points, which I was very happy with. I know.
79 points.
I used my bench boost. I mean, if you look at the players, it's not that great of a week. It's purely because my bench got, 18 points, which I think is a successful bench boost.
Definitely.
Apart from Kinky Boy only got 2 points.
Oh.
Tottenham were terrible. Really, really terrible. I don't know why I put that guy in, to be honest. For some reason, I thought Tottenham were going to have a good season. But they looked woeful. But yeah, I have a
Who was
similar
the other
team.
option, Black Wolf? Were you seriously considering anyone else?
I was considering Lamens from Man United, so that wouldn't have been much better.
Yeah, he did shit.
So,
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So I was happy with this week. I took a punt on Solis. He got 6 points, but that could have been a lot more. My latest draft, I ripped apart about an hour before the deadline so I could fit BruNO in because social media scared me. But now I wish I went with my prior draft. But still, he has Ipswich at home next, so I'm comfortable sticking with him considering the XG numbers he put up. And then Joe Rodon, just a hero that leads defense. That 6 points went a long way. And
For
João
sure.
Pedro.
Neck tattoos and all. Well, we got to give Rodon a little 4.5 love right there.
Yes. It's just a shame Haaland didn't do anything. Because if Haaland did something, I'd have been cruising this week with him as my captain. When most people seem to go with the BruNO captain.
Yep. And then,
you
even got returns from
dream
Gomez.
of a triple-digit score? Sorry.
Who first?
You got Gomez
Brian, go
points.
first.
You have Ayer points. Nailed all your budget picks. Love to see that.
I know. Honestly, I was doing everything I could to switch Gomez to Gross, but Gomez is the one that got the points. And
Yep.
I needed a 4.5, and he just seemed like the best option purely because of how good Brentford are at home and because of his DEFCON numbers were really good. So I went with him, and it paid off with the 8 points.
Love it. Love it. And Bucks, you're not far behind. Let's look at this. All Bucks,
Yeah.
no sense. Walk us through it. 73 Whoppers.
Yeah, 73
Whopper.
points. Admittedly, my own stupidity is the only reason I'm not ahead of Black Wolf, because I decided to be the last man holding the line on the 09 hype train, and he disappointed me, to say the least. He's at fault for conceding that Sunderland goal, and then he gets a silly yellow card. So if I just went with the sheep and went for a Ipswich Town defender, I would have a couple more points, and I'd be the best manager on this podcast still. But alas, I sit here with my soggy sorrows with a great game week score nonetheless. At one point, I actually dreamed that Holland was going to bang and I was going to hit 100 points. But overall, it's really like a low scoring game week. A lot of the most popular owned players and the big kind of premiums disappointed for the most part. Outside of João Pedro, I think was really João Pedro and Szoboszlai saved a lot of managers from having like, 0 goals in their entire team. So I feel pretty good about my setup. Azure was a big call for me. Again, he delivered, and my bench boost ends up with 21 points. So I'm totally thrilled with that. I feel like that is an insane return. So yeah, Kinski sucks. I won't be playing him very much, if at all. And
21 points or 17 bucks?
What was that? Yeah.
21
depends.
Points or 17. Would you have really played Kinski over Verbruggen?
Well, I was going to say, because the Twitter timeline actually had me thinking of something. So maybe your bench boost should just be your 4 lowest players. But this was going to be my bench if I didn't hit the bench boost. This was going to be the order. I really just kind of took a swing at it. So I got a little lucky, I think.
Big time. Good start for you. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. There's 2 faces that are beautiful, and then you got a man with his tail between his legs, and that would be the Red Arrow Pharaoh. Strikes again. 51 mother bleeping points. We got a 6-point bench boost, ladies and gentlemen. Let's fucking go. Oh my goodness. It is a rough bench boost. We got Thiago, differential last minute switch, brought him in for DCL. DCL picks up the yellow card on Saturday. I'm like, all right, well, at least Thiago's got upside on Sunday. 4-0 destruction, or 3-0 destruction of Spurs, and of course he misses the penalty. And to make matters even worse, Kinski, the kinky man himself, doesn't even get his mitts
No
on
save.
He just hits the post, and he just, it's actually a pretty decent pen if he wouldn't have just been another couple inches inside. So that really sucks. Ballard, 0 points as well. Sunderland, major disappointment on top of the triple up from United and then BruNO cap. So I admittedly didn't watch as much football as I would have liked this weekend after the tilt. Had Ben White in my side, brought Ballard in, and then Thiago in as well. So that's a little rough go of it right there. 51 points, and like you were saying before, João Pedro, only goal in my entire team with 15 players. So that's how you do it. That's how you spend a month building a team and just getting shit on. So we keep it moving. 51 points. See you never again.
All right, let's just run down the action from game week 1. Sorry,
no
Brian.
more
We
words
still love
needed.
you.
No more words needed.
Well, listen, I think
rough.
Game week 1 is kind of like everyone's starting at the same point, but the real season starts right now. We've all made our first team. Now it's like, who's going to be patient? Who's going to be pragmatic? Who's going to make the right calls? Starting where you are, it's only time to climb from here. So if you started well, don't get too full of yourself. If you started like shit, again, there are tons of managers who started like 4 or 5 million in the world by the time the first half of the season rolled around, who finished well inside the top 10K. So this is definitely a hobby and a fantasy game, which is all about the marathon, the long view. not the sprints.
You say that, but I saw so many teams out there. I'm like, wow, you have Singare, De Kuiper starting. You're on like 65 points and you didn't bench boost, and you're going to bench boost next week. Oh, stick a fork in me. I'm fucking done.
Nah, don't think like that.
I'm cooked.
All right.
I'm cooked, boys. Oh, man.
Let's look at game week 1. I think the thing that jumps off the page to me the most is I didn't get to see Wolves playing in the Premier League. Did something happen, Dan?
Yeah, Wolves Corner.
Yeah,
Let's bring
beats
it back.
me.
60 seconds.
Wolves corner. Well, we're in the championship now, of course. We've had 2 games.
All right. What
4
place?
points.
What place are we in?
4th, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
But yeah, honestly, the championship is a lot more entertaining than the Premier League. I didn't realize just how entertaining it is these days. No VAR, refs letting go of everything, end-to-end football. It's
chaos,
insane.
Ultimate chaos.
Yeah.
And what did they
that's the
play?
first
46 matches?
They
How
played
many matches?
46 matches, yeah.
Man, that's
So
crazy.
there's games galore.
It's
And
brutal.
honestly, I haven't seen Wolves win in something like 500 days away from home. So this was our first away victory this weekend. It was fun. So yeah.
Dan, I have to say, I've been following you guys kind of tangentially in the transfer market. You probably are pretty psyched about some of the moves that they're making. I feel like they're putting all the pieces together to try and be right back next season. No?
Yeah, I mean, we signed Raul Jimenez. That was pretty insane. And Kieran Trippier, although he's already injured.
He's injured. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
He's an old head.
Honestly, just keeping a lot of the players we had in the Premier League and giving them like a winning mentality will be like new signings. So I'm excited.
Nice, man. I will let you know, Dan, that I still have the Wolverhampton Wolves as one of my follow teams in the Foot Mob app. So, I pulled up the teams. I'm like, all right, these are all the Premier League teams playing. Oh, look, Wolves are up. And I shot you a nice text on the weekend. I'm like, Wolves are winning.
Nice.
I'm happy for
Yeah,
you.
it was weird.
A
all right,
joyous
let's recap
Black
some
Wolf.
of the action. Yeah. Let's recap some of the action in the Premier League, which is... Oh, actually, follow-up question for Dan. Are you playing Gaffer? I was curious if you were going to get involved or not.
No, but I'm playing the official fantasy EFL game.
Okay, is that... I never even knew the difference. I thought they were the same thing.
It's really fun. It's really, really fun. I'm like 5k in the world right now. It's pretty good.
Out of 5K.
Bunch of
players
sickos.
or what?
Out of 6k.
All right,
Ah.
on to game week 1. Friday to Monday opening weekend. We're going to see that once again in game week 2. Standouts, I think Arsenal immediately looked like they're head and shoulders above the rest of the competition. They just barnstormed their way through Coventry 3-0. Never really got out of first gear, I don't think. Anything you want to take away from that Friday match?
I mean, Arsenal just looked so comfortable. It was an easy win. Coventry, my hometown, of course. So that was
I was
nice.
thinking about just putting $1,000 on Arsenal to win the Premier League after this weekend. I'm just like, so many of the other teams are just so flawed. They don't have the depth. They have new coaches. There's no reason that
Consistency, pedigree, only a deeper squad than they were last season.
The rapport, the manager, everything's trending in the right direction for Arsenal. So just like watching them execute their substitutions, and BruNO G wasn't in the squad, and they just have a lot of depth. So we'll see how some of these other teams handle playing 60 matches this season. But I look at Liverpool, especially. I was watching that with some friends at a bar here in Santa Barbara, little FPL meets, and man, you're just like, who's coming in for them off in the wings? Who are these players? It's just like, oh man, like they're in a full rebuild and still have high expectations to make Champions League. But I'm like, fucking Goomba man and these other players. I'm like, who are these guys? They need to make some signings still.
Question for you, since I know you don't have Arsenal triple up right now, correct?
Correct.
Are you at all tempted to make a transfer to bring them in? I know they are going to be, it doesn't get any easier for Aston Villa, who are going to be hosting the league champions in game week 2. And you could argue they looked like the worst team in the Premier League in that opening match.
Yeah, Unai Emery's got his work cut out for him. But no, I'm not going to touch my team for the rest of the week.
Okay, good discipline.
Wild card in game week 3 and figure it out from there. But like, I wish I would have stuck with Benny Blanco, short-term pick, and just botched it. But I would say I'm happy to own Solus. I was hoping he was going to get like a double-digit haul. Jumped on that bandwagon for 6.5 and thought he looked excellent. Had a few other,
Agreed.
opportunities throughout the match that he could have maybe had a little bit better end product. But in terms of his directness and just dribbling with his head up, I thought that was just a big plus for Arsenal. I was so used to Martinelli just like super fast with his head down on the left, like run, kick the ball, run. It's like, oh, and then he fucking dribbles it out of bounds or messes up the pass. He doesn't cut back. And I just thought Solus looked composed, especially for his first match. But again, it's Coventry. So, we need to just slow a roll a little bit. But you got to take care of those promoted teams when you face them. Otherwise, you'll end up like Manchester United with cactus up your bum.
Yeah, way to switch gears. Black Wolf, any big takeaways? Did you get to watch that match? You're kind of wearing Hull City adjacent colors right now. I know the gold. You will not like me confusing that with the burnt orange of Hull City. But listen, we're all fans of the newly promoted team when they demolish Man United, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to, take it with a grain of salt. It was the very first game of the season, Hull at home. They're probably really, really, really up for it. They played very well. Manchester United played like crap. But I don't think people should panic and take out their Man United assets. They're at home to Ipswich next. So I think you'd be pretty insane to take out any of your Man United players based on this one result.
Yeah, I agree, Dan. I think I saw McBurney just swallow a whole bottle of Viagra. He was up for it. Oh my goodness. Some of these players were putting in some shifts.
I was really impressed by their other guy, the guy who made the pass in. I think it's like Givens. He was amazing.
You're gonna have to learn their names.
Gibbons?
I don't think. I don't think any of us could name more than three.
I couldn't. I know Slater was the popular one, but there was one of their midfielders was just putting in some beautiful crosses, and it was really the defenders that feasted. There was 2 4 million defenders from Hull. I know everyone's backing Coventry to absolutely eat their lunch in game week 2 on Bench Boost, but it was the Hull defenders who went to town at the all-you-can-eat buffet. 2 4 million guys, I think, totaled 29 points. I did not have that anywhere close to my bingo card. That was insane.
Nope. Yeah, it's one game, but if Man U do not take care of business and get 3 points versus Ipswich at home, those fans are going to be calling for heads on spikes immediately.
Yeah. For me, my big takeaway from the game week was just to remember the importance of the home field advantage. I think watching the games, if you were wagering on the games or if you were backing your picks with FPL, just really interesting how comfortable the home teams looked and how unsettled a lot of the away teams looked. Again, early doors, and a lot of things are still being chopped and changed in the transfer market. But 8 of the 10 home teams got results. So go ahead.
Let's face it, Hull were a championship team. They got promoted to the Premier League. It's their very first game at home. They're going to be really, really, really up for it. They're playing Man United, one of the most famous teams in the world.
Yeah.
Man United, pretty much their entire squad was at the World Cup and not fully fit. Probably not quite ready to face Hull away from home.
They looked unfocused. That was the thing. I think they thought they were going to cupcake in there and just get the 3 points.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Hull would roll over.
Now they've lost this game. They're going to be really up for their next game at Old Trafford. And BruNO, he missed a few chances. His XG was really good. If he knocks one of them in and gets a goal and assist, then we're not even talking about this.
True.
Yep.
One thing to be mindful of, Ahmad had to leave with an injury. So it looks like if you are an Mbeumo owner, but also if you're a Cunha owner, you should feel assured that those guys are going to have a higher X-min, more assured minutes going into that Ipswich home match.
Yeah, and taking a look at just the scores across the board, I was happy to only see one match that ended in 1-0. We saw multiple goals in a few of these matches, a little kind of late drama in the last couple matches of the game week between, all the action on Monday and Sunday. Lots of goals flying in. So love that. Last year, just a bit of a snooze fest in terms of some just pretty poor football, set piece FC taking place. So I would love to see these types of score lines continue, to be honest. More FPL relevant points coming into the squad. So, yeah.
All right, let's do manager of the game week, and then let's move it forward to look ahead to game week 2.
We already did that. Black Wolf's the manager of the game week.
No, manager of the game week in our podcast mini league. Come on, baby.
Okay.
We got fans that we need to shout out. So let's start the season strong. Squad Bar Coca Cola. Shout out to Ashish Karki. Absolutely masterful bench boost. Oh my goodness, 106 points. I looked at this team and I was like, I think there's an error. I think like maybe they calculated the points wrong because there were so many of them. I was just like, oh my God. Look at this team.
This guy, by the way, he's on Twitter. He's at Qatar Kaki 32. He's also in the FPL USA Silver League, currently top.
Love that.
So I know this guy.
Nice.
Really nice fella. So well played.
Yeah. Couldn't happen to a nicer fella. He's inside the top 300 in the world to start the season. Wow.
This team is insane, man. Wow. I mean, to go with 0 assets from City and just completely fade, and then the big balls picks of both Saka and Palmer. I mean, he BruNO capped for diddly squad, but the rest of the squad is looking very prime. And to be honest, like this is just like a great team. Just like I haven't seen a team like this heading into the game week where people were obviously off of, the meta was off of Palmer, off of Saka, and those two guys came in big. Ndai comes in with DEFCON. It's a $6 million pick that's come good. And then Sangare on bench boost. Good Lord. Double assist for a DEFCON player.
Crazy.
Oh,
this goes to show, though, Brian, that this isn't that much different from your team. He's just happened to pick the guys
all the good players.
Hold, They're not even the good players. He just got lucky,
The returners.
I would say the only picks here that he's gone with that other people have not are Saka and Wisa. I've seen teams with all those other players in, whereas Saka and Wisa
You saw a bunch of teams with Palmer, too?
I did, yeah. And
really?
He's an analytical favorite.
Okay. Managers that faded Holland but also faded Isak seem to have gotten Palmer instead of that in that 9.5 million spot.
When Isak didn't take the pen, I was just like, oh man, I need another bucket of beers.
You threw your toys out of the pram. Yeah.
At least I had Liverpool on the draw, so I recouped a couple shreds of dignity on that. But that was surprising to see.
No moral victories.
Well done.
Let's keep it moving. Congratulations to you, Ashish, and we will shout out a manager in our mini league each and every episode. So even if you're having a season, by the time we get to the end of it, there's still some shout outs to compete for to get some glory.
Team of the week. Imagine being a Brighton supporter and just having Hinchelwood and De Kuiper for 10.5 million, and they drop you 30 some odd points. I mean, I feel like there's a few of those flying around here. So well done to anybody who went there. De Kuiper didn't play it. I don't think he played at all in the Antarctica match, wherever the fuck they were. And he just comes in and instant impact, forces an own goal from Lindelof, and then scores another one later on, 17 points. What dreams are made of. And then Hinchelwood, he's playing the 10s, 6 million. He had a nice end to last season. I know the FML FPL guys were all over them, all over Hinchelwood. So it would be interesting to see if he will continue to play the 10 and get some more minutes. I think he's consistently subbed like pre-70, but he could be an interesting pick later on, especially if he's going to be the one actually scoring some goals versus Gross or Gomez, who are the much cheaper options at 5.5 and 5.
I think De Kuiper's the one player I am annoyed I didn't go with, because I was very tempted to go with him before the season. I was worried about his minutes, but the more I read, the more I see he's pretty much nailed in that left wing spot right now.
Yeah,
so
out of position.
I don't know why we didn't go for him, honestly.
Yeah.
Two things on De Kuiper.
I dropped the ball because Connor Chunt himself, he was in my DMs 5 minutes before deadline. I'm like, man, should I double up on Brighton defense or should I double up on Sutherland defense? And it's just like, nope, botched it. And then he's like, "You should have gone. Should have gone." He gave me the keys to the car, and I drove it off a cliff.
One fun thing about De Kuiper, since the second half of last season started in FPL, he's actually the defender with the highest XG per 90. Now, of course, he's been fortunate to be playing lots of left wing out of position, but that's something to be mindful of. And one thing I just want to shout out, because I thought it was a hilarious troll on social media, was like 6 or 7 members of the FPL community just immediately shouting out that Chelsea are going to splash 100 million for Hinchelwood next season. And that hit me right in the plums, because it's too real.
Yep.
And it's probably true.
God.
You know what?
At this point, we should just be spending 50 million and buying Verbruggen. Can't deal with this Sanchez fucking kumquat anymore. Sheesh.
I was just gonna say, like, when we needed 4.5 for a defender, we were all kind of focused on those DEFCON guys. I think DEFCON has kind of blinded us a little bit, because 2 seasons ago, I bet De Kuiper would have been in most people's teams, like an attacking wing back, most likely playing left wing. His minutes were maybe a little sus, and he doesn't get DEFCON, but look at the guy.
He was in so many like attacking positions. It was almost like, you're getting a free 8th attacker that you could start every game week. So credit to any manager who was bold enough to go there.
Yep. I saw a stack in a couple bench boost teams as well. Well done to anybody who went that route. He gets the late free kick winner away from home versus Forest. I bench boosted with him last season, and he played 1 minute, so that was great to see. Then, of course, now when he's a real option, he comes through with the baker's dozen. But all right, yeah, let's take a look forward at some of the FPL managers' dream games to get points in. That was a mouthful. Obviously, we are all recommending not using any transfers. You should probably have enough depth to get through this one game week and just have the flexibility to have 2 moves and do some tinkering in game week 3, especially thinking about that Coventry match.
We still don't know jack shit.
So, yeah, I would urge those to roll your transfer. I was talking to a guy this weekend that I just met for the first time, Channing, and he was just like, I already made a transfer and I thought that I was able to do this or this. Is his first year playing FPL. I'm like, oh boy, you got a steep learning curve ahead of you. I'll be your Sherpa, and make sure I send you to Bucks, who's ahead of me in the standings, to give you some advice. But yeah, hold your transfers. Rolling your transfers into game 3, super vital. But let's just start from the top.
It's not just vital because it's good to have the flexibility of 2 free transfers in game week 3. But jumping ahead a little bit, I honestly don't see any fixtures here that are standout fixtures. Like, they could go either way, any of these, in my opinion. So just hold your transfers.
I'm going to take the
disagree?
other side of that, Black Wolf. I completely disagree. I think that Aston Villa hosting Arsenal has another absolute back alley mugging written all over it. I think Arsenal could go in there and make the Brighton scoreline look flattering. There's nothing that tells me that Aston Villa are going to be any better equipped for game week 2, missing João Gomez, who was, their midfield destroyer. He was the only reason, I think, in the first half that Brighton didn't have 6, let alone, 7 goals. And then he goes off with the silly red card. So Aston Villa, their body's short, their ideas short, and they have no attackers that I would feel confident scoring against the Arsenal defense. So, of course, that means they're probably going to nick a 1-0 win at home. But, the vibes check going into that, I would be tempted, if I didn't have a triple up on Arsenal, to get in another Arsenal player. That would be the only thing I would justify using a transfer on. Beyond that, I think skip it.
For as long as they have Unai Emery in charge, I just don't think you can rule them out ever. I just really don't.
They're playing John McGinn as the striker. I think I could run more than that guy.
Yeah, the talent disparity right now. I mean, they've sold a lot of players going out the door. It's like, Windows is only open for a few more weeks. Like, reinvest that. I mean, this team is going to go play in the Champions League this season. Fucking be pretty pathetic if they can only muster up this type of level of talent. So, I don't know. What is Emery saying behind closed doors, right? It's like you got to get a few capable
They're
bodies in
busy.
here. You
They're
can't just
busy.
be trotting these guys out, right? Ross
Well, yeah,
Barkley's like 48 years old and he's starting. Like, what's going on here?
well,
I
apparently
mean, they
they're
have a
in
week.
on like 6 or 7 more players in the transfer window, so
Okay.
there's still a lot of business to get done.
Early pain for them, so good luck, villains, good luck. Yeah, the other match I would be most interested in targeting is, I'm still bullish on this Manchester United match. I think, I got the triple up. A lot of players do. People are, rage moving BruNO to Morgan Rogers or whatever else. Like, just sit tight. Sit tight. You got to go through this match and then reassess. So that would be my
Agreed.
And like historically, I feel like lately, even though you do get tripped up by some of these lesser teams, like they're gonna be pretty fired up at home, and they don't want to be an embarrassment to start the season after all the good vibes last year. So I would expect them to win this match 3-1. Thoughts?
Wolf, you agree with
3-1?
that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you picked your game week 1 squad for a reason, so just stick with them. I think it'd be, like I said earlier, it'd be insane to take out a Man United player when they're at home to a promoted team. Could Ipswich sneak a win? Could Man United play like shit? Yeah. Could Man United win 5-0? Yeah. So just stick with your players. I mean, like I said, Mbeumo looks impressive, I think,
I agree.
in the last match. If he would have just taken his chances, he would have been on 12 points. And
But
we'd have had people bringing him in.
Their defense and midfield looked shambolic. I mean, there were times when, the Hull players weren't even being defended because the United players were too busy grab-assing each other. I mean, it was like embarrassing. So
Maguire up to his old tricks.
Yeah. And then just in midfield, I'm wrong here because I thought Santos and Tielemans would be great signings, and they still might be, but they are clearly
one match.
No, but they are clearly body short. And I mean, a team of this size, when you're trying to push from, third place, now you got back into champions, you're trying to back this manager. They're missing key time on the training pitch right now, and it's going to spoil the start of their season. It's really bad management from the top down there. So I feel
I think
for
it'll
the players
be fine. They'll get 3 points on the weekend and keep it moving. I think it's easy to overreact because we want to hate on them losing to a promoted team, but we know that happens, Bucks. We took our lumps last year. Sunderland was whooping our ass a couple of matches at Chelsea, so these matches happen.
Word of caution, because I don't think that Ipswich are going in there feeling like they're like just lambs to the slaughter. I think they're going in there with serious intent to frustrate United, be more physical than them, which they have the squad to do, and make things difficult. So I think specifically Ipswich, I think has a really good chance of staying up. And I said that in our preview episode. I'm impressed with the business they're doing, and I like their squad composition. They're a serious bunch.
All right, put it on the board. Bucks says Ipswich, the internet providers are staying up.
I think it's going to be 2-1 to United, but I don't think it's going to be like they're going to cakewalk their way through this match.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving here. We got things to do. Wow. I didn't mean to go to bus teams already, but let's just jump into it quick. Any moves to make, Black Wolf, heading into bus team?
No, I'm not going to make any moves. I think my only decision is captaincy between BruNO and Haaland, and then to play either Rodon or Aya. I'm sticking with Rodon right now because I'm backing the home team. And, I admit when I'm choosing my captain, I do get swayed a little bit by kickoff times, considering I'm on the West Coast. So I kind of like the idea of watching my captain play on the Sunday and not on the Friday when I'm at work. So
yeah, I also captained BruNO this past week and woke up. It was like 5:45. Heard the baby. I was like, looked at my phone like 2-0. Oh God, this isn't happening. I'm going back to bed.
I bet you rubbed your eyes and were like, the Fat Mob got these sides confused. It's probably 2-0 United.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
Nope. Team looks most excellent. Let's look at Bucks's.
I'm also standing pat. Nothing to do,
Looks
nothing to
good.
see here. And I'm going to captain Holland again. He's better than
Yep.
BruNO.
Looks great. No complaints. I would say for Bruggen or Kinski, did you have any thoughts there?
Yeah, just backing the home guy. They're both going to concede. Doesn't matter.
Okay. I mean, Brighton have frustrated Chelsea a bit more as of late.
Yeah.
So
It's
be
a
interesting.
new
I'm
and
interested to
improved
see
Chelsea attack.
see what the clean sheet odds are. But yeah, you probably would not want to back Bart against your team. So
No,
I get it.
never.
I get it. My bus team looking pretty mids. I think the biggest thing I was looking at is the same thing as everybody. Just like, do I start start Ballard in my first bench slot or play him over Maguire? Like, probably not. So after they shit the bed, I'm mad at them. So Ballard can be firmly first bench.
That team looks really good. Look, for all you know, you might outscore our teams by 30 points next week.
Could be.
You just never know.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I would say, Palace.
He's not biting Black Wolf. Just let him.
Yeah, not yet. Palace look pretty poor.
Let him stew.
They look pretty poor, so maybe get a clean sheet out of City. We'll see. But yeah, no Holland, so it's hard to watch the City game for sure. So anyway, let's move on to FPL community questions. Thanks for engaging with us on social. Had a few questions. I asked the community who else whooped my ass this week in terms of their bench boosts. It's I don't know if I've seen less than 6 points on the bench boost. So keep your eyes out. Tag me if you see a team that has less than 6 points on the bench boost, because I'd like to see it company. So I can wallow in self-pity and have another mate next to me in the deep dark abyss. But my Cayman fan, aka Matt, big 22 points on bench boosts. And then he asks, have the opening fixtures changed your minds on captaincy at all this week? So let's kick it to Dan, because you own both Holland and BruNO. Plan going into the season was probably cap BruNO in this match. So where do you stand now?
Yeah, I mean, my opinion hasn't changed. I don't think we should be swayed by game week 1. I was already kind of 50-50 on who to captain this week, and game week 1 did not change that.
Interesting.
Like I said earlier, I'm swaying a bit more towards BruNO purely because it's a home fixture, because there's a little bit more routes to points, and because it's on, I believe, the Sunday, so I can watch it drinking my coffee and not while I'm at work. So
all valid reasons, but for me, I just think Holland blanked, but it was like the most improbable blank. He had 5 shots. He really had a great chance. Now Marmouche is gone.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do watching my Nico O'Reilly pick. Put that on a silver platter for Holland. I'm like, if this is the World Cup, Holland's bagging that. And instead, he just fluffed it. But I'm like, I don't have Holland in my team, so do I want Nico O'Reilly to assist? Rough.
He needed Odegaard's crew of fluffers, because talk about a scuffed goal for the ages. I mean,
oh man, Connor went with him over Solus as well, so he got a big,
of course,
a big haul from Odegaard.
He didn't.
No,
he changed his mind. He took him out of his team. Yeah.
Oh wow! Last minute
I must have
tinker.
been looking at the wrong screenshot. Oh my goodness. Well,
I have to say, though, that might be the worst taken goal of Odegaard's career, and yet it was so huge for the FPL managers that went for him. I was like, insane.
Yeah, what'd you say about
Connor went for triple Liverpool instead. Connor went for Verts instead.
Yuck. Yeah, that hurts.
That's rough.
Sorry, Connor.
Bucks, you're still sticking on BruNO? Play the fixture?
No, Holland. I'm Holland. Holland.
Cool. Part of me is honestly thinking about Bumo.
Honestly, I rate it because he was so much closer to goal. He was so much closer to the points. I kind of was concerned seeing how deep BruNO was having to drop back to receive, and then he was catching the ball. He was receiving the ball a lot with his back facing his own goal. And I thought the whole promise of rebuilding the midfield was that he was going to be more one-way traffic. So that wasn't great.
Yeah. All right, next question is from at FPL Paz. He wants to know best 3 assets that surprised you in game week 1. I would have to start this with Sangare. I was thinking he was going to be a little, trickling monster, but he was pretty involved and just looked fantastic in making his debut. So to see him grab 2 assists, we're kind of searching for that next Elliot Anderson pick. And if he's going to be a little bit more involved in the build-up as well and get DEFCON potentially at Brentford, I think, that really is a price point in which everyone wants to find that player, that Elliot Anderson of this season, or even like KDH of last year. Those are a couple of those picks that really galvanized some top managers into fantastic finishes. So that's one asset for me. What about you guys?
I mean, you're not going to like my answer, but honestly, were you surprised by anyone? Because if you look at all of the top, apart from Hull, obviously, they're 2 haulers. If you look at players that got points, would you have said, "Oh, that's never going to happen before game week 1"? I don't think so. Chelsea players scored well.
I was a bit surprised by Cole Palmer, to be honest. Like, we haven't seen him
He looked
play
amazing.
very impactful
I think
football
he was probably
in a
better
number
than
of years. And
I got 3. I think overall, the way I would label game week 1 was the premiums disappointed, the enablers hauled. And so sticking to that, I think Barry at Everton, 5.5 million. He was really bright. I thought the entire Everton attack looks like they're going to offer tremendous FPL value. They're all at cut prices. KDH had a goal and Dye had a big return with the assist, and Barry returned.
DEFCON too.
So I was really impressed with him. He was 5.5 million. He's actually someone who I tinkered in for DCL and I punked out at the last minute. Brian, you have the receipts on that. Beyond that, I was really impressed by Vissa. I thought, listen, Newcastle's fixtures are going to turn for the good in game week 4. And there's going to be tons of managers who are going to be making early moves to bring in Vissa. If he's starting at the 9, the guy just gets FPL returns. I think he had 2 assists.
This match he was playing the 10. He was playing the 10 with Asula up top on the 9, and still. But
they were switching, so I just he's an incredible FPL value at 6 million, and I would be hard pressed. Newcastle didn't take a penalty, but I would assume he's going to take them. He's kind of has that 9 mentality as the leading goal scorer for them, and they looked plucky. I thought they were going to be a team that suffered, and they kind of impressed in front of their home crowd against heavily favored Liverpool. Last but not least, we touched on Hinchelwood, but I want to shout out Gomez. I think at 5 million, he looked really bright. He had a chance to take a second goal. He just kind of scuffed it in for a goal kick, but he was popping up in great positions. 5 million. Brighton, I think, are going to be a good team this year. So that looks like a really good value pick as well.
I really like all 3 teams beginning with B. Brighton, Brentford, Bournemouth. They always really impress me. They're just so attacking, so entertaining. All 3 of those teams are really impressive, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the new model of team success because, of course, not every team is just going to fall into being a pedigree club with wealthy owners and a track record of trophies and success. So if you're not one of those teams like a Chelsea or an Arsenal or Spurs or a City or a United, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you got to kind of get creative. And clearly those 3 teams have the best scouts in the business right now. They are beating all the top clubs who have big academies. They're just signing, seems like top players out of nowhere. So I really like that shout, Black Wolf.
I have a question for Black Wolf. After game week 1, what squad or squads are you most worried about of the non-promoted teams?
Which squads am I most, in terms of what, fantasy or just in general?
No, just in general. Like, Crystal Palace, for example, Villa, a few of these squads where, Fulham, who else could go down potentially this season? Anybody kind of catch your eye? We're like, ooh, this is not working. Yeah,
I mean, Crystal Palace with the players they've lost, looks like Sarr is leaving as well. I doubt Mateta's going to want to stay with the players they've lost. They've lost Glasner, which I think is huge. So I'm a little bit worried about Crystal Palace for sure.
Okay.
Fulham, I don't think they'll go down, but, I think none of us will be surprised if they finish 15th to 17th. And Aston Villa, I can't help but feel like with Emery in charge, they will figure out somehow. I don't think they'll finish top 6, but if they get 7th to 11th, it wouldn't surprise me purely because of Emery. And I think they're going to sign a bunch of players in the next
A lot
week.
of respect. A lot of respect.
Yeah,
to
I
the
agree with you,
Midlands.
Black Wolf. Palace is the team that I projected is going to finish in 18th, and I have Ipswich finishing outside the drop zone above them. I will take the other side. I think that Sunderland are a team that we were all, joined the bandwagon last season, and they're in Europe this season. I think they're going to struggle. They have a smaller squad. I don't think they're going to be top half. That's probably counter to a lot of FPL managers who have maybe 2 or 3 of their players already in their squad from game week 1 based on the fixtures. But I think they're one of those teams that probably needs a couple more bodies in if they're going to be comfortable all season.
Yeah, if your boy fucking 09 doesn't screw things up, and could have gone a little differently for that.
And I know it's only one game, but Tottenham looked really, really, really terrible. The amount of players they're signing, their manager, they're linked with Savinho and Marmoush.
Both
I would
done,
have thought they would have
apparently.
pushed it.
Both done.
Yeah, I would have thought they'd push on to comfortably get top 6, but they looked terrible. Obviously, it's one game week, so we can't judge them yet. But I think they were a lot worse than I thought they'd be.
I think we could judge them. It's not just one game week because it's
G-Tech
been the last
is,
2 seasons.
It's tough to play the Bees at the G-Tech, to be honest.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
They were away to Brentford. They've got an entirely new team. I think they'll come good, hopefully.
Okay, a couple more questions here. Let's keep it moving. Barrister, Mr. Jeremy, he wants to know, did everyone overestimate United? We already covered that in nauseum. But he wants to know, for his third defender spot, would you play Ayer, Shaw, or O'Shea? Probably got to play Shaw at home, right?
Wolf?
100%, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You picked
Why would you
Shaw
pick
for
him?
this match. Yeah, you picked him. You got to play him.
And honestly, when you have those cheap defenders, it's good to rotate them. Just because Ayer got you 8 points, you take that to the bank, but you probably have mapped out, this is my rotation. You should stick to it, I would say. So,
Amen.
And he also mentions the Norwegians buzz cut. That came out of nowhere. Did you guys see on social him FaceTiming Jack the Lad and FaceTiming Ibrahimovic with his haircut? Yeah. Ibrahimovic was like, delete my number. I never want to see you again.
Yeah, it's
he looks even more like classic. A baby now.
Yeah, he's a little baby robot. What's his last question? What do you got here, Bucks, for us?
All right, Lucas Zena from one of our mini leagues. He private messaged us. He wants to know if De Kuiper's return, will he continue to shoot to stay hot against Chelsea, or should he stay on his non-bench boosted bench going into game week 2? First and foremost, LZ, way to smash it. Just picking De Kuiper on bench boost in game week 1, I would be loving those points. I'd be swimming in them, maybe even skinny dipping in them. That feels so good.
I think he hit 85 points or something. He hit 80s. So well done to him.
The issue is I think Chelsea are going to score. The flip side is I think Chelsea are going to concede. So I think there's every reason to, he might be the best 4.5 million defender in the game. So you probably just start him once again, unless you have better options.
I'm looking at his team. He has Calafiore, O'Reilly, and Maguire. So I don't know who he would play over.
Does he have DCL? Would you play him over DCL, for example? Or
no, he has Thiago, Haaland, and João Pedro.
Yeah, probably bench him.
I would bench him.
Yeah, I guess.
And then
bench.
He's also asking. He's an Arsenal fan, so he's asking if the Chelsea attacking triple up is a terrible or brilliant idea for those managers considering an early wild card.
I
kind of love it. I hate
attacks on the triple up. It's so feast or famine. You should always go more balanced. Two I can see. 2 makes sense, but triple up is just it's not worth it. The match today played out where those players all got points, but that very rarely happens. I've definitely gone down the route of triple capped or like tripping up on attack for Arsenal in a free hit, or for the likes of City for a couple games, and like maybe 2 of those guys bang, but it's very rare that all 3 do. So I would diversify your portfolio. Plus, ahead of game week 3, when Chelsea will play, I think, away at Arsenal, you don't want to have a triple up anytime soon. So wildcard 3, wildcard 4, that's where you'll be making your bones and picking 2 of those attackers. And
it's easier to do the triple up in defense, Brian, to your point, right? Like it's everyone's rowing the same direction. On attack, it's kind of, the ball could just happen to bounce, to different bodies. And then, your third guy, who might be Cole Palmer, the most expensive, is blanking, and because he's the most expensive, you probably put the armband. So it's harder to predict. There's more variance in the attack. I think, early days, of course, of the project of this experiment with the new front 3 in attack, man, it was fun. It was action packed, and it looks like Chelsea are going to score a lot of goals, especially with those front 3 leading the line. So
I agree, though. I wouldn't.
It's not sustainable, though, if they're going to give up that many chances, though, too. They had a couple of spells where I thought Fulham was running the show for about 20 minutes.
For sure.
I was just like, hey.
But I will say, I think just to close the loop.
Enzo didn't play. Yeah.
To close the loop on this, my take is that, in my opinion, both Palmer and João Pedro are both at least 1 million underpriced. So I think at some point, especially if you're considering that early, maybe a game week 4 wild card, there could be a lot of flexibility and a lot of points grabbed early doors if you were to back those 2 specifically. I think they're both going to price rise, and I think they're both going to score lots of FPL points.
Love that. Last question we have is from Corey Cummings, aka the Run CMC. Best cap option for Nolan managers. BruNO again, or fool me twice. Shame on me. Well, I mean, we already went through our captaincies, but
when he picked his game week 1 team, he had BruNO captain game week 2. So you need to stick with it regardless of what happened game week 1.
Although
Black Wolf, you wouldn't be a shade. Yeah, shade tempted by Bumo. Nah, you're Mr. Pragmatic. I respect it.
Oh, Dan, he's a wolf. He preys on all those sheep. He needs those sheep to exist, so
that's
so
right.
He can eat them up. So, yeah. All right, boys, we've gone long once again. Thank you so much for joining us, Dan. Great to see you. Lots of love to you out there in the San Francisco area.
Come in here, Dan.
Hopefully have you on a few other times throughout the season. And Buck's, good to see you as well. You guys smashed it in game week 1, top 300K. So big season's ahead. You'll see me in the gutter with another 6-pack of booze coming my way soon. And anything else? Any last words? Where do they find you, Black Wolf?
On X at FPL_Blackwolf. Same place as usual.
Beautiful.
Black Wolf, plug the FPL USA leagues before we get out of here.
Yes, I also run a tiered league for anyone based in the USA. So if you want to join and you haven't already, just send me an instant message on X or Blue Sky.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
And again,
get involved.
If you haven't already, also join our prize league, 2 for 1. You can get the pride and the glory and a signed football shirt. Is that still the sponsor, Black Wolf?
No, it's not.
I take it back. No free ads.
Take it back. Psych.
No free ads. You can get the pride and the glory in the FPL USA leagues, and then you can get some cash and the glory and some shout outs in our podcast mini league. So make sure to dot your I's, cross your T's, and get in both those leagues straight away.
Love it. All right, boys. Good luck in game week 2. We'll catch you all very soon.